All right, we are here. Just setting things up. Had a little bit of equipment issues coming into this podcast today. I changed a few things around to deal with those issues, but let's get into it. Surprisingly, I don't have a bottle of water today. I will be grabbing one sometime in this episode because you cannot talk for a long period of time without water. But let's get this intro going on. Here we go. Yo, what's good, my guy? How you been down there in Louisiana? Comment section podcast, episode 3, titled Rent Paid. And I don't need my rent paid. You'll see the reason why I decided to go with the title Rent Paid. Today's co-host or guest host, or however you like to call it, would be Miss Aiyana Smash Jackson, an old-time friend. Whoa, you're in Iraq? Be safe out there, my guy. Wait, how long is your tour? It's my intro, so I'm actually replying to like messages in the thing. So, hey, just be safe out there, man. I'm gonna hit you up about that. I didn't even know you were in Iraq. Yeah, today's co-host would be Miss Aiyana Smash Jackson, an old-time middle school friend from ph. So I'm gonna get rid of the intros real quick before I start up the live video and start up the chat. Here we go. Yo, shout out Nigeria, shout out Nigeria, whatever you want to call it. Shout out New York, shout out PS111, shout out OLPH, shout out Hume 2 family, shout out UA, shout out Echo 354, and shout out my friend, my guy that's in Iraq right now. I didn't even know. So here we go. I'm gonna start up this live and see where we can get this conversation going. The topic for today will be Black church, self-help, and a few other things, but let's focus on it. I don't understand why like people always say light skin lighting. I'm brown skin. There's a calm in between. Sorry, I'm going on. What is up, Miss Smash Jackson?
Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
I am pretty good, man. I am pretty good, other than my equipment giving me the cahoots today. So
Totally fine.
you look great as ever.
Thank you. So do you.
I put up the title Rent Paid, and I'm not sure if people understand what I mean by rent.
No.
All right, so can you give me an example, or like where did I come up with this name Rent Paid from? What do you do? Like, why is it so? Does it connect to you in any way? Like, is it just me throwing something in like water?
No. All right. So I am a singer, songwriter, performer. I just got off of the national Broadway tour of Rent the Musical, which was absolutely amazing. But unfortunately, COVID-19, of course, cut it short.
If I can catch that COVID and just, put it down.
If we all could, really. But yeah, so basically the show Rent, if you don't know what Rent is a show that takes place in the 90s in New York. And it kind of focuses on the AIDS epidemic, as well as homelessness, as well as friendship, falling in love, drug addiction, all these different things.
So it's like Friends before Friends was even Friends. It stole it from like 2 different plays.
We all know Friends stole from like 5 or 6 different like projects, but we're not going to talk about it. But yeah, so that's basically what Rent is about. It's a really, really beautiful musical. So you tell me why you chose to put Rent Paid as the title of the podcast.
See, I've actually personally never watched Rent, but I saw a few actors in there that looked like a few familiar faces from the actual movie, I believe. Or
right.
Yes. They had the guy who plays like the father, Joe West, in Flash, and I think they also had the dude from American inside there. And I searched up a little synopsis, and I was just like, well, she has it in her bio. Been watching this go on for a while now. I know COVID came in. I was just like, what? I'm doing this to eventually get my rent paid. So
I think
it's a fitting title. I like the idea of Rent Paid. So, we're going to get paid. You got paid. I hope you actually were well compensated for going across.
Yes, I was. Yes.
But traveling for free is fun too. So
it is,
So tell me about this, like Rent Paid. So what was the whole production like? What was the whole moving like? What was your favorite places to go? Any like memorable? I'm just gonna go one question at a time. So
you're fine.
Let's go. Okay, first time getting in. How was the auditioning? What did you do? What What did you go like?
Okay. This whole rent process has honestly just been the weirdest thing to me. Like
Uh,
nothing has been normal. I went in with all these expectations and it just completely blew all my expectations out the water. When I went to audition, I think I auditioned in what was it? I think fall of 2018, and I actually didn't get it the first time. And I was
okay.
going in for a different role. I didn't get it because I was actually still recovering from a hamstring injury. I pulled my hamstring like 6 to 8 months before, and it takes that amount of time for a hamstring to heal.
Yeah, I've been there.
And so basically, when I went there into the audition, I couldn't fully do everything that I needed to do in the dance call in order to
Okay.
get the part. So I didn't
Oh,
get the part. I think like a few months went by, and they were saying, "Hey, we're revamping the tour, we're recasting it. Do you want to come in and audition again?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever." And so I went, and it was absolutely amazing. It definitely just threw me out of my comfort zone,
okay.
which is great because I'm definitely a person who gets stuck in their comfort zone a lot. And I have to remind myself, like, no, Aiyana, there are things outside of this little circle that you love to, stay in. So that's basically how the audition process went. It was real smooth, really nice. Everybody's been really, really great.
Okay, what role did you play in? Who's your character that you got invested into? What did you learn from that character? Tell me about that.
Mm. Okay, so my character's name is Mimi Marquez. She is a 19-year-old stripper, addict, and she has AIDS.
That's the girl
So
that lived downstairs.
yes, yes,
All
that is the
right.
girl who lived downstairs.
I know a little bit. I'll
See,
probably watch it
I'm
later.
glad. Thank you. Because some people don't know anything. I just kind of, the whole thing. But so yeah, so that's Mimi. Mimi is like, I think she's one of the most complicated characters and complex characters in the entire show.
You're not just
And
saying that because you're biased because it's your
no,
character.
no. I mean, honestly, I am kind of saying it because I'm a little biased, and that's because I had to learn her so in depth in order to do
Mhm.
this role. So I know better than me and all the other actresses who have played her before me know better than anybody how complicated she is, how she thinks, what makes her tick, all these different things.
Mm.
And also because she's so young, like 19, to be going through all three of those things, that's a lot to carry on your shoulders.
That is a lot.
So yeah, so like, breaking down all three of those things as well as just learning her as a person has really just been it's helped me a lot get to know me and love me. I think the number one thing that Mimi has taught me is to be fearless, and that life is so
Mm.
short. You don't have time to let fear hinder you or stop you or hold you back from doing anything that you really want or going to get any job or any opportunity or any person that you want. Like, this is your life and this is your time. And
I
you have
like
to
that.
utilize that to the best of your ability. Yeah.
Like that. We're all on the time glass and we're just losing sand from the top part.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Hey,
are.
it's a little bit morbid, but it's time. You can't
Hey,
control it.
right.
I wish I was an
Exactly.
Avenger. Go back in time, just do a few things right. But
Oh gosh.
all right, moving on to the role. Okay, what did
Hmm.
you said that it made you stronger. It made
Yes.
you grab like life by the horns. All right,
Hmm.
what was one aspect of Mimi that you really took away to yourself walking away from the role? Like one thing that she just did so well. What did you take away from that? What did you walk away from it?
I think I definitely took her confidence with me.
Mm,
And it's not that I wasn't a confident person before, but I feel like with Mimi, she walks into every situation, good or bad, with this amount of confidence and the sureness in who she is and the space that she takes up. And nobody
mm,
can take that away from her. And I know that that's something that I've struggled with as far as like being okay with the amount of space that I take up. Like, I always had this horrible habit of apologizing for myself and the things that I do and the space that I take up. And it took me a while to realize, like, you don't have to do that. Like, you have every right to live the life that you're living and say what you want to say and do what you want to do. Like, it's not an issue. So definitely, taking my confidence and my sureness in myself into every situation possible is basically what she taught me.
I love that. I love that a lot.
Yeah.
I think some people are a little bit too self-aware, and some people are not self-aware enough. It's just
Yep.
like some people apologize too
Exactly.
much, and some people struggle with I can't even say it. Like I don't. Like, what's that S word?
I don't,
But
I don't.
shit, I can't remember. Like, it's not
It's
that one.
okay. It's okay.
But
No, not that one.
all right, walk me through, like, okay, so you get the part, you get the gig, you're learning the role. All right,
Hmm.
first play, where's the location? Where did you go? Any jitters? Like, what? How did it feel? Like,
Gosh.
oh, come on, you're confident.
I'm
You're Mimi.
okay, but
You better rock that show out. Like,
this entire process once again just threw me out of my comfort zone. The first place that we went was Columbus, Georgia. So that's where we
ooh,
did our tech rehearsals. It was really, really nice.
I've been
Really,
to
really
Columbus,
nice.
Georgia. I've
Have
seen a
you?
nice few things. Yeah, I
Yeah.
took a few pictures by the bridge in the rivers area. Like, I'm
Hmm.
really bad with like
Nice.
names, so like, yeah, I was down there and
You're
just.
fine. I'm bad at names too. So, but yeah. So the first place we went was Columbus, Georgia.
Mhm.
The jitters were God. They were through the roof. I mean, not like first of all, this was my first paid professional gig. Broadway wise, I'm tackling a show as huge as Rent. Like Rent has taken the Broadway world and musical theater world by storm since it debuted in 1996. So it's when anybody who comes to take on these roles and tell this story has so much pressure on them and so much pressure on their shoulders because there's so many fans, so many rent heads as we call them, who are super, super aggressive about their rent. Like,
Mhm.
don't come at their rent, don't come at their characters, don't sing their songs wrong, like they will fight you.
Hey,
Um, so it's a lot of pressure.
all
But
right.
I took it with grace, as much grace as I could have. But yeah, so it was a lot of jitters for sure. But that's the first place that we went was Columbus, Georgia. It was really
Shout
nice.
out your rent heads and your personal Mimi
Yes,
fans are in the
yes.
comments right now. They're
I
going
love you
crazy for
guys.
you.
I love everyone. Thank you.
Okay, so what was your favorite tour locations coming off the rent tour? Like, where did you go that you
Ooh.
really loved? You shout out Columbus because
Yes,
Columbus was great.
yes, shout out
Wait, real
Columbus.
quick, did you
Mhm.
were you performing at like the school or were you performing at a different location in Columbus?
Well, was it the school?
Because I know
I'm
there was like a area for there was a theater near like the
right,
location I was at, and
right.
I saw
I
that
think
some plays were going on there, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it was the theater. I
Okay,
think it was
okay,
the theater that we
all right,
performed at there. Usually we do go to theaters. I think there were a few cities and towns where we did perform on campus, but
okay,
it was rare. We were more or less in a theater.
all right, okay.
Um, but yeah, but favorite places wise, I think we went to Canada for a month, and
Hmm.
that was absolutely beautiful. Like I want to move to Canada.
Really?
I'm moving to Canada. Give me a few years. I'm moving to Canada. It's absolutely beautiful. The people are so, so nice. The scenery is gorgeous. The nature, it's just, oh, beautiful. Boston was another one.
Mhm.
Loved Boston so much. We got to spend 2 weeks there. We spent a week in Hawaii, which is at the top of the list.
As a
Hawaii
Yankee fan,
was,
I'm just gonna disregard that you said Boston. I don't even care if you live in Boston.
you can't do
Like,
that.
yeah, okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Had
fine.
the
We'll
happiest year of my
disregard
life watching the
Boston.
Patriots suck. But yeah,
Oh
Hawaii.
my
Yeah, it
gosh.
sounds
Yes.
great.
Okay, great. So Hawaii was absolutely beautiful. Everybody was so,
Mm,
so kind. And it definitely makes the experience for the locals to be kind.
mm,
Because we have encountered, protesters and different things who didn't want us there.
mm.
And didn't want us to tell our story and take up our
Whoa,
space.
whoa.
What?
Protesting a
Oh yes.
Broadway play? Like, are people really that jobless? Like,
Because I mean unfortunately, it was I forgot what city it was, but we were definitely somewhere down south.
oh,
And thank God we were only there, I think, for like a day or two. But we had protesters outside of our theater with signs telling us to go home and not do the show. And it was I think it was a religious or a Christian college. And of course, because our show is all about homosexuality, love, stripping, drug addiction, all these different things, and just saying to love people throughout all of these
mhm.
things, they weren't really okay with that message.
Okay, so that probably leads us into the next topic, which is the
Yeah.
black church. All right, so I like that's one thing I never understood. It's just like
Mm,
the idea of like there needs to be a hate when you have religion that teaches you love. Like people
exactly.
seem to get it misconstrued, and Christianity for one. Looking back at its early histories and early beginnings with the Roman Catholic Church that then
Right.
branched off to different Christian sects. A lot of the colonization that we saw, a lot of the raping and pillaging and appropriation of
Right.
culture and yada 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 to the today and age was
Hmm.
done underneath the Christian banner. And I don't know how people don't separate the idea of like evil acts from their religion. Like they
Right.
just take it as a mix of both, and they
Yeah.
just constantly contradict each other. And I don't understand that. Why protest a play like that just because you have some beliefs? Your beliefs is to tell you to
Right.
love your neighbor. Your
Right.
neighbor can just be
Exactly.
anybody, the gayest person in the world. Like I can have a voguing, transgender, cross-dressing
Right.
catfish as a
Exactly.
neighbor, and just keep it going. All power to you. It,
Exactly. That's
it's
it.
just mind the skin that you're in, and I think that
Hmm.
people like to be in other people's business far too much.
Oh my
Far too
God.
much. Like to get
Yeah.
out there and protest a play that you can actually learn something from, just go inside. Hey, this is a group of people that I really don't understand. Let me just go
Right.
watch something and just experience something for myself and learn something from it. Now I'm just gonna
Exactly.
stand outside with my boards and yell at people that are
Yeah.
just here to express love and art. I don't really
Hmm.
understand that. But
I don't get
Black
that either.
church. why did you want to why did you want to pick a topic as the Black church? What did you want to talk about with the Black church?
Specifically, I think what's been bothering me a lot more lately is the fact that there aren't a lot of youth in the church anymore. And I know that elders in the church talk about that and they complain about it a lot, but I don't think that they see that they might be one of the number one reasons as to why youth is
Hmm.
not in the church. And it's because, once again, one of the things that God says is come as you are when you come into his house to worship him. That's literally all you're there to do, is to come as yourself and show him who you are so that he can love you and accept you and take you in. It's hard to do that when you go there and there are other people who are human just like you, who are of no ranking whatsoever, other than a ranking that another human being gave them that doesn't really hold any truth to God. It doesn't make sense. But it's really hard to go there when you go in and you're wearing whatever you want to wear because you're coming as you are, but you get judged, you get side eyes, people are whispering about you, gossiping about you, how you smell, how you talk, how you like all of this stuff has nothing to do with just coming to worship God. Nothing.
I completely agree, and I might be biased on that end because I'm a youth and I grew up in the church. I
Mm-hmm.
don't go as often as I should go now, but
Right.
I felt that discrimination. I felt those side eyes. I've heard the whispers. I've heard
Right.
like the side talking and the gossiping, and I've seen it being addressed as a whole, but it seems to not go anywhere. It seems to be a part
Right.
of this old traditional mindset of like how church is supposed to operate. I have a few issues with the Black church, but I also agree with, believing in something, structuring
Yeah.
yourself in some type of faith, having
Right.
some sense of fellowship, having some sense of community. But the problem is, it's like you can't heal in the same place that got you sick. If you're if you're
Exactly.
if you're in a location where it's just like, well, I was believed to, I was taught up in these ways, I was taught up in these
Mm-hmm.
traditions, but
Right.
hey, I've fallen short. I've had some issues. I'm human.
Mm-hmm.
I go through things. I go through moods. I go through depression. I go through anxiety and stuff like that.
Right.
And I can't go to the one place that told me that you should come here for healing. I can't go and really speak my truth because,
Yeah.
Sister Margaret over there out here, testifying for like 2 hours. I'm just trying to say I need some help. Like, and
Right.
this one over here got the top hat blocking my view. I can't really see what's going on at the altar.
I
Like,
saw that.
and hey, there's an altar call at the end of service, and
Right.
everybody's looking at me because they know something that I don't know. Like,
It's a
it's
whole
just
thing. It's a
it.
whole thing.
I think we judge each other way too harshly and too
Mm-hmm.
much. Like,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to church, I think we need to, like anything else with today's day and age, we're moving into a different understanding. We're
Right.
moving into a higher intellect, a
Mm-hmm.
higher level of IQ and just acceptance to things. And
Yeah.
we haven't changed and altered the things that we have kept traditional, the things that have kept us in our culture, like
Exactly.
politics for one, but the church especially. Like, there
Yeah.
shouldn't be this traditional mindset to going to church. There shouldn't be, hey, wear your Sunday's best, and
Right.
your church shoes and your church dresses. Like, hey, that's all fun and dandy, but you don't have to do that.
No.
That idea is grounded from a slavery practice of where the slaves wore
Exactly.
their best clothes on Sunday just to get that one day off and just learn,
Yeah.
religion that was probably a little bit indoctrinated and
A little
scripted by
bit.
the white man. But hey,
Right.
um, moving past that, it's just
Mm-hmm.
we like I believe that the Black church has an identity crisis of the blind kind of teaching the blind. It's just
Right.
you can't as you get older you just get this hubris or get this sense of benevolence over people where it's
Right.
just like, I know too much. I've been through too
Hmm.
much. I know exactly what you're going through. Sure, there's nothing new under the sun, but it
Right.
changes its face. It changes
It
its
does.
shade.
It
And
does.
a lot of the kids in our generation, a lot of youth, a lot of young adults, we feel like we don't have a connect. We feel like
Yeah.
we'd rather connect to God personally on our own than come to a church where it's just like, I don't feel comfortable. Like
Right.
my spirit is resonating, and they'll be like, that's just your demons just bugging you in the house. Like, no, it's your demons are
Th-
rubbing off on mine, and they're just
exactly.
vibrating on this. Like, I don't like it here. Like,
Exactly.
it's we're blocking each other from getting to the place that we want to
Yeah.
be. And church
Exactly.
shouldn't feel like it's a fashion show. Church shouldn't feel like it's a competition. And I think
It's not.
that's a problem. Another issue with the black church. I'm going
Hmm.
on for a little bit, but um, the idea of a white Jesus. All right, so who wasn't reading their
Oh God,
Bible? Like
please.
that's that's what I want to know, because
Right.
I grew up in a black church and everything, and I've visited other black churches. And my
Hmm.
one thing, I walk inside and see a picture of Jesus, be like, "Oh, cool." But as I got older, I'm like, "That ain't Jesus.
But he don't look like, no,
Who's that?"
that's that's not it.
Like, and if we're really reading in Revelations, we actually find out, the color of
Hmm.
Jesus, and different
Right.
places in the New Testament, we find out the history and the lineage of Jesus, saying that he came from the line of David, who came from the line of
Right.
Benjamin, who came from Isaac, who came from Joseph, who came from
Exactly.
Abraham. And we all know that these people come from the same line, lived in, ancient Israel, in ancient Jerusalem.
Yep.
And we understand that they're from the kingdom of Judah, kingdom of whatever, hail from Mount Zion, and all these places. And we
Right.
understand that Jesus's color and skin tone was labeled to be skin of bronze, hair of wool. I don't know
Hmm.
about you. I got my waves down right now, but it can get pretty woolly, and
Oh yes, again.
this skin looks pretty close to bronze.
Right.
But that's what I mean by identity crisis. It's like
Hmm.
we're kind of regurgitating the information that was taught to us,
Hmm.
and as we're getting older and
Right.
we're reaching more understanding, we're just like, that didn't make any sense. That was clear
Yeah.
lie. That was used to control us. Why is
Hmm.
it that black people, black individuals, if you go to church growing up, you struggle to still find yourself in this country?
Hmm.
You fall for the same tropes. You fall for
Right.
that. Oh, I'm black. I just got to be Baptist. I got to be
Yeah.
this, Pentecostal. I got to,
Right.
but I'm never really learning exactly who I am. I
Yeah.
don't know my culture.
Exactly.
I'm distant from my culture. I'm disconnected from it. Why do you
Yes.
think the black church
Exactly.
doesn't break that mold?
I honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I've been asking this question for quite some time because it still doesn't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I honestly don't know what it is, and I feel like part of the issue is them not seeing that they are the issue. Because, like you said, they're so stuck in their traditions and their ways, and they think that there's one set way to worship God. There's one set way to have a relationship and go to church and operate. Like, everything is just evolving so quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't understand why the ideals and the beliefs of the elders in the church aren't doing that as well. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's just a matter of older people just being stuck in their ways. You can't teach all old dogs new tricks. Some people will be open. Some people will be open to getting new information and, evolving with the times, but other people are definitely just like, nope, this is what I learned, this is what I know, this is what I was taught, and that's not changing, whether you like it or not. But not everybody's on board with that.
Okay, so what are ways that we can tackle this to get more young people back
Right.
into church, to get more young people back in? Because I miss my old Bible study session. I
Yeah.
miss, just because the best thing about that growing up was being able to read it amongst the group and
Right.
debate translations. When I was in the army, we had our own little Bible school sessions before they even set things up. Due to COVID and
Exactly.
stuff like that. But I'll be around a bunch of other soldiers, and we'll just read. We'll just read a couple verses. We'll talk through
Right.
things. We'll joke around with the verses and stuff like that. I remember I used to
Yeah.
say that, I still say this joking, like, the Israelites are the dumbest people in the Bible. Like, there's no other people dumber than the Israelites. I'm
Right.
not gonna
Right.
hold you. Like, if you don't know, well, read through the Old Testament, and you'll just read through the
Hmm.
many mistakes, the many shortcomings, the many practices of false idols and witchcraft and idolatry.
Right.
Like, but they visually watched God work. So that's the thing that
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, we would go outside and be like, oh, I feel the breeze, I see the sun. That's God for me. You
Right.
feel me? Like,
Right.
but they physically watch God part
Right.
seas and part the
Yeah.
Jordan and break down walls, and they're just like, nah, this ain't it. Like,
Like what? What sense does that make?
And I feel like that correlates to us as a people because,
Mm,
when I look at like the Black struggle, I look at it as like, these are the struggles of like the Israelites. These are the
right.
reoccurring generational curses of the Israelites. It directly translates to us as a
Mm,
people now
right.
today, and struggling to even find our identity in church, struggling to even come back to God, being always used for different imageries outside of, what
Exactly.
is meant to be in the faith.
Right.
And it's it's a little bit detrimental. It's a little bit sad. I can't say
Yeah.
that, I have a physical game plan to tackle it. I can't say that I
Hmm.
have a way to just say like, hey, this is what we got to
Yeah.
do and this is how we can approach it. But I can
Hmm.
say that, one, I'll probably end up waiting for some of these people to die out in church. I'm not gonna hold you. This
I
when the
kind of
elders
said that a while ago, and I was like, I feel bad, but I don't feel bad.
when the elders stop, being elders, maybe some new people can walk
We'll
in.
have the freedom to kind of move about like how we should be, but it's yeah,
I don't. I, it's something, but
it's so hard.
I'm glad you brought it up because I know you went to church. I know you
Yeah,
still went. Well, I'm not sure if you still went to the church in
I
Mount
still do go
Vernon.
to church.
I
Yeah,
Yep, I still remember the location. I remember seeing you one day when I was playing ball after service.
that's so
I was with
funny.
I was with my hood rat friends. I was like, "Oh,
Uh-uh.
hey!"
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
You said
Yeah,
one more.
I
You said
go
you had
ahead.
one more topic. Go ahead.
The next thing I think, and it's kind of similar to what we were just talking about with the Black church, I want to talk about spirituality because
Ooh.
I feel like there might be a bit of a stigma around spirituality. I feel like when people hear spirituality, crystal healing, all these different things, they kind of think devil worshiping. And it's like there's a thin line, but please don't just group all of spirituality and crystal healing and all these different amazing tools as something that is worshiping a spirit or a force that isn't God.
Mhm.
I mean, when you are a spiritual person, you decide within yourself who your higher power is or what your higher power is, and that's all up to you. Whether you
Mhm.
want to call it God, whether you want to call it the universe or whatever else, that's all up to you. But I also want to make sure that people understand that, specifically for me, speaking for me as a Christian, I use spirituality to get closer to God. It's not
Okay.
a separate thing. It's not like its own religion. It can be, but if you choose to integrate it within your religion, if that's your choice, it's possible and it's doable. It's not blasphemy and it's not taking you away from your God or your higher power.
Okay, so where's the thin line? Where's the like separation? Like, is it
Right,
between like constantly checking my horoscope to see who I'm beefing with
right,
today and just seeing
right.
where the moon is at? Is it
Mm-hmm.
saying that Jupiter and Venus are gonna mess with my emotions today? Is it saying
Right.
that I'm a whip out a few tarot cards? Like where's
Yeah,
the where's the line in between
right.
so we can understand, some
Yeah,
people as Christians, some people as Muslims, whatever you want to believe in, where's
right.
the line between that, like that and semi proxy witchcraft? But
Mm-hmm.
like where's the line? Where would you cut
Right.
it off? Where do you personally
I
cut it off?
think the line is when you decide what that power is connected to.
Mm,
So it all depends on, so if I root my spirituality in my Christianity, it shouldn't be an issue. But if
mm-hmm,
you root your spirituality in witchcraft, in the devil, in all of these other negative forces, then that's different. But I think you also have to open up that conversation with that spiritual person to figure out what their line is and which side they're on. I feel like most people just kind of they generalize spiritual people
mm,
as like a certain type of people or they do certain type of things like they're like I know that when it comes to devil worshiping and stuff, like they say create an altar and like you know pentagrams and all these different things, but those things can also be used for spirituality that is based in a religion or based in a positive higher power. You can use an altar to pray to your god without having to have like goat's heads on a sticks or something just really crazy, that I feel like a lot of people just kind of miss the connection, if that makes
okay.
sense.
Let me just put this out there. Like, if
Yes.
you're using any type of go head or pentagram, that's cause for
Please be
alarm.
careful.
I'm not. Yeah,
Yes.
that's really cause for alarm.
Yes,
You're
it
actually
is.
working with some dark arts right there. But
Right.
in the Old Testament, in the Bible, I remember reading
Hmm.
through, it's very clear about the works of like witchcraft and stuff like that. Is to
Right.
stay away from it. It's
Yeah.
because it's not just to say that, hey, there isn't some good, there isn't some bad and stuff like that, but it's a very slippery slope. It's just like,
Yeah.
sex before marriage. It's a very slippery slope. You can do detrimental things like,
Hmm.
bringing a child into this world that doesn't have, like a strong structural
Right.
family. There's rules and regulations behind, and there's reasons behind these rules. But
Hmm.
for spirituality, I always look at the story of Solomon. It's just like Solomon had all the wisdom from God. He was known to
Yeah.
be the wisest king, known to be one of the richest, if not the richest king ever to have walked the lands.
Right.
But Solomon's detriment was women and was his fall into, the dark arts, witchcraft, and
Right.
spirituality. Because
Yeah.
as he kept taking more concubines, kept taking more
Hmm.
wives, they started bringing in certain practices to him, like, hey, try this, hey, try this crystal,
Right.
try something like this, and it was a very it's a slippery slope. So I understand that
Hmm.
some people just look at it as just like, hey, I don't even want to touch it,
Right.
I don't need it. And a
Right.
part of the New Testament is understanding that we don't need the tabernacle, we don't need the
Yeah.
altar, we don't need
Right.
that anymore, because the altar technically is inside you. The temple technically is your body.
Right.
So you have to understand that spirituality can also be a part of just taking care of yourself,
Right.
taking
Yeah.
care of your mental, taking care of your keeping your vessel
Hmm.
clean, keeping your body
Right.
healthy. That's a huge part of it. If you are a Christian,
Yes.
in my belief, it's just saying that, hey, you are in this sorry, I'm getting
You're
spammed right now.
fine.
Some people don't understand that I'm recording, so I'm gonna have an angry conversation later.
Oh
But
gosh.
yeah, it's just like, yeah, spirituality can actually, be stemmed in your understanding of self,
Right.
how you take care of yourself,
Hmm.
meditation, certain
Yeah.
aromatherapy, just like
Yeah.
stuff like that doesn't really teeter the line. But
Right.
I'd say like older people, and people who
Hmm.
are hard of hearing, people who are
Right.
ignorant, stuff like that. I could probably fall into that category myself, because I'm very traditional in my ways and my beliefs. I
Hmm.
believe I was talking to this shorty about a while back ago. She told me
Hmm.
all about spirituality, and I kind of gave
Hmm.
her like the, hey, you sure
Oh
about
gosh.
that? Like, hey, we
The whole
cool right
speech.
now, but it ain't
Right.
going any further than
Right.
that.
Exactly.
But
Red flag.
but yeah, so I feel like, people just need to take a step back with where
Hmm.
it's religion, where it's just, going about their goals accordingly,
Yeah.
really taking time to just understand themselves. Just
Right.
take a step back and just understand that you are a student in this world, in this universe. You
Yeah.
don't know it all. You don't even know a good amount or a good fraction of anything. So
Right.
take your time to absorb information, to
Right.
compare and contrast. It just don't just take anything you hear for the first
Hmm.
time for go, and just don't take it for truth, don't take it for
Yeah.
falsehood. Just become more, I don't know, in depth, look at things deeply,
Yeah.
be more
Yeah.
contextualized. And I think people
Exactly.
just like, their little echo chambers, and they like their little, like, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
everybody's a critic. Everybody,
Right.
can be inside these little areas. I know myself personally, when I played a game, when somebody
Hmm.
said something about my PS5, I love this thing dearly. Okay. I would fight for this machine.
Hey.
But yeah, when I play the game and stuff, sometimes like that, different parties, I get different takes. For my
Right.
2K guys, for my Destiny
Hmm.
guys, and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Conversations are different. Feel me? You can get into
Right.
sports, politics, and stuff like that. But it's good to branch out your understanding. Talk to
Yeah.
multiple people.
For
Get a
sure.
good understanding of self and just what other people have to offer. And you never know, you
Yeah.
might find a thing or two about yourself. Like me personally,
Exactly.
I'm gonna get a yoga mat, start meditating, and see if I can get some peace of mind. Like
Please.
it
Please.
helps. It helps.
Hmm.
But I like that self care. You started something with self care. What did you start?
Yes. So basically what I have right now is I just officially became a certified health and life coach. And I'm
Ooh.
super excited to share that with everybody, and everything that I've learned during my trainings, because I've really just learned a plethora of information that I really just can't wait to share. And one of the biggest things that we talk about is self-care and self-love and self-help, because it's so important. And one of the things that I know how to do is to assist people in weight loss. And one of the things that a lot of people don't think about is they think when you trying to lose weight, it's just a physical thing. It's about
Mm.
what you eat, what you drink, how much you're exercising, all this other stuff. But it's actually also a mental and emotional thing. And nobody thinks about that.
Mm.
So it's like you could be doing everything right physically, but mentally and emotionally, if that's fighting against your body, you're not going to get any results, any long lasting ones, at least. And also, I feel like when people hear self care, they think of it as a feminine thing, and
Mm.
it's not. And I hope that a lot of men, when they hear self-care, like they might think face mask, getting your nails done, massages, spas, like, which a guy can easily go do. Please help yourself. But
Got a
I
funny
feel,
story. First time getting my nails
oh,
done.
please, okay, I want to hear it in a second. Please tell me. But yeah, I feel like self-care is for everybody, and I feel like not everybody feels like that. When they hear that, they think a specific thing. But I want to make sure that everybody knows that self-care is for everybody, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a set thing. Self-care could literally for you be taking a long drive somewhere and just listening to some music. Whatever helps you replenish your energy and feel better about yourself, that's self-care.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Now, when you talked about weight loss and everything, and you said it could be mental. Mental.
Yes.
How can weight loss be mental? Like, how can it affect, like, your psyche, and
Right.
like, what? How do your emotions play a part? Your feelings, like.
Right. Okay. So the first example that it comes to mind is a person who's been sexually abused or
Mm,
sexually assaulted. And usually, some people who are victims of that, they'll put on excess weight as kind of a barrier so that that doesn't happen again, so that they're no longer attractive enough for anyone to think about
mm,
attacking them or anything like that. So it's a psychological thing. And it's not like, when they're eating and they're gaining weight, they're not consciously thinking, yeah, let me put on pounds so I'm not cute anymore. That's not what that is. It's a subconscious thing. When you don't fully deal with that trauma, it can easily manifest into physical health issues such as obeseness. It's
wow.
really just it's so crazy because it's like, now that I know it, I'm just like, why doesn't anybody else know this? Like, it's so simple. But I'm also just like, this health industry is not for us at all. It's for the people who are making the money off of it. So there is a lot of information that could be helpful that they're not sharing on purpose, because they don't want you to know it, because they want you to continue to pour your money into dieting, into supplements, into medicine, into all these different things that you really wouldn't need if you had all the information that they had.
I completely agree. That's why I don't believe in the taking of antidepressants, because you ever take a second just to listen to those side effects at the end of those commercials? Like, hey,
It doesn't make
I
sense.
don't need to risk death if I have a little bit of like sadness going on in my life right
Right.
now. But
No.
that's another thing. Like, you can go into any topic where it is education, if it's politics, if it's church, if
Right.
it's healthcare. There's a lot of work to be done. And I think the
Oh.
main thing is like people just realizing that it's not working for us because it hasn't been updated. It's like
Mm.
we're in a generation of like, I can update this phone. Like my phone
Right.
tells me constantly, hey, 14 point whatever is out. I still have yet to do it. Like, I know,
Exactly.
Siri, like I'm a little late to the
Right.
party every night, but it's
Yeah.
like we're constantly evolving, and we're evolving with technology. So we're seeing like a
Right.
lot of things in our society, and I love the idea that we're getting to a place where it's more utopian, where it's like people
Yeah.
can understand each other, where it's like we can do more for one another. But it's just the powers that be, the powers that made their money off of it, is just like, hey, nah,
Exactly.
I'm
Right.
not steering this ship. Like,
Nope.
we're on a set course to failure, and I'm going right off the cliff with all you guys. So
Exactly.
it's that's the issue, and
Yeah.
I completely agree that the information is out there, but it's not made to be accessible to everyone. It's not
Right.
made for everyone to just take a piece out of it and just evolve and grow and
Yeah.
just be less dependent on these major corporations and these big pharmaceutical companies and stuff like that, and
Exactly.
just understand themselves better. Like, I have a few friends, like, that tell me like, hey, I'm trying to lose a few pounds, I'm trying to do this, and I'll tell them like,
Hmm.
first things first, you got to be ready for that, because if I tell you, hey, you got to run 4 miles in a week, you're gonna be
Right.
like, well, 4 miles. I'm
Exactly.
like, yeah, if
Exactly.
I put a Twinkie in front of your ass, you'd probably do it, but it's
Right.
whatever's gonna get you done, whatever's gonna
Yeah.
get you through it. Like, you gotta
Right.
you gotta really understand that it starts here. Like,
Yeah.
that's anything you want to do,
Everything.
anything you want to do. Me doing
Hmm.
this, you doing your singing, and you're like that.
Right.
Comparisons like this to that, but I'm just gonna put this out there, like, but yeah, it's just, you have to, in one point or the other, just get into
Yeah.
your mind, and it's just like, hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna stick to it, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna be my own life coach, because I'm living this life. I understand me the best for me.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
might have to go to other people and just ask them a few questions about myself to self-reflect,
Right.
but I'm in this battle, I'm in this race, and I
Yeah.
gotta make sure that I'm keeping my engine flowing, I'm keeping my mind racing, and I'm staying goal
Hmm.
oriented, because if you don't, you'll fall into this, stagnant mentality, and
Yes,
you'll end up in a place where you're just not moving, and you're not going.
exactly.
And even if you've been through trauma like sexual assault, like, even physical
Hmm.
assault and stuff like that, anything, it's
Right.
just, you're not the trauma. Like, and that's what a lot
Yeah.
of people fail to realize. You're not the trauma. You're not, you're not what
You're not what
you're not
happened to
what
you.
hurt you. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
be so much more than that, and you can use it to help people that have been hurt, that have been through the same thing in the past. And that's the beauty
Exactly.
of life. You never know
Yeah.
where this road might lead you, like what people you might inspire, what people you might help.
Exactly.
I can't wait 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, seeing all the stories of the people that you might help and invest into and inspire. you
Thank
know
you.
like, hey, you should probably start your own singing, coaching, acting class later
Oh,
on down the line. you know
I've been told, but I got too much on the plate right now. I'm
it was
not thinking
funny.
about it.
I remember when we were in middle school, right? And
Hmm.
you sang, because people found out, I don't know where, like, it slipped out that you can sing, but you
Yeah.
sang, and people kept telling you, like, wow, you have a great voice. And I remember just like, your voice is just, it's strong, it's powerful. And it's like, it's not one of the voices that you just hear like, she can sing on a Sunday, yada yada
Oh
yada.
no,
No,
no, no.
it's one of those, like, damn, like, she can sing, and she puts the S and the I and the N and the G and sing, like. And it was very much like, when I remember listening to your voice, it was like, the voice is just mature for its age. And
Mm.
it's like, and I think it was just weighted in your just understanding, weighted in the things you've been through, and just weighted
Yeah.
in your reality. And I think you took that and you produced it, you directed that into the right direction. And now look at you, like,
Yeah.
hey, you're gonna add more
Yes.
playbills
Yep.
to your setup. I can't
Yep.
wait to see. I'm gonna try to see if I can see something in person.
Yes,
School COVID,
please.
I
Yeah,
will
right.
be there. I will stay in touch. Like, but we are at 4 o'clock, and I'm not sure if you still have your call to get to,
I
but
do. I do.
it has been a pleasure, and I
It
hope I
has.
can bring you back to the podcast, because I'm just
Please.
getting started and just setting things up. But you see the technical difficulties I have. I'm sorry for the
It's
unprofessionalism.
okay. It's
It won't
okay.
happen again, Miss Aiyana Smash Jackson.
It is okay.
But it has been a pleasure talking to you, and you look amazing. You are
Thank
great.
you.
I
Thank
enjoyed this
you.
conversation deeply. Is there
So
anything
did
you want to
I.
add?
I once again thank you so much for having me. This has honestly been the first podcast I've ever been on ever, so I'm very excited about it.
I'm glad to be the first, man. Hey, you
Thank
know where she
you.
came
Thank
to
you.
first, man? The
Right,
superstar
exactly.
itself, a
Shout out.
star in the making.
Shout out. Yeah.
Shout out the rent
Exactly.
crew, the rent
Yep.
people, the rent
Yes. Shout
army.
out to my rent cast. I love you guys so, so much. All the rent heads. Yes, please.
All right.
And just to close out, I just want to remind everybody that yes, I am a health and life coach and I have my own business. If you want any more information on that, I have my own health coaching page. And you can also go to my personal page. Just reach out to me and I'll answer any questions you have and we can talk about it.
All right. I'll be sure to leave the link in the bio. All right.
Yes, please.
I'll see you later, Miss Aiyana
All
Smash
right. See
Jackson.
you
I
later.
love
Thank
saying
you
the
so
full
much.
name. You already
I
know.
know, I know you do. Oh my gosh. Thank you again, man. Thank you for having me.
No, no problem. My pleasure.
Yeah.
All right, that is an old friend of mine from OLPH, Miss Aiyana Smash Jackson. I love, saying her full name, because it was just fun as, 12, 13-year-old kid, just like, hey, name Smash Jackson. It's brilliant. I will probably continue this podcast for like another 10 minutes or so. I don't know what I'm really going to talk about. That I should have just closed it off there, but yeah, I could tell you the story of, like, getting my first manicure, if it is a self-care topic, just to keep this to about like an hour episode. So I'm probably gonna do this about another 15 minutes or so. So yeah, I made a video for it a while back ago, but this was before I started my podcast. Shout out to my best friend Christina. She's down in Howard right now. She finished up her degree with her man, and this was right before I was going and leaving away to the army. And for some reason, like, I was, saying my goodbyes, getting ready to head out, and she was just like, let's do something fun. Let's just do something calm and, just relaxing and peaceful. And she was just like, hey, let's go to the nail salon. I was just like, nail salon? Like, you want me to be in there? Like, I can watch you, because nobody really tells, black men, black boys, whatever, what we can really do, like how to really take care of ourselves. Like, outside of shaving and grooming, there's really not that much information for us to really hear. So I was a little bit adamant about it, but I went, and I was going originally to, support her, and just sit there and watch. And I was inside the store. I'm just watching, all the women come in. Hey, they're getting their nails done, and my best friend is sitting down there, get the nails done and everything. And I'm like, wow, this is a whole scientific setup that they have in here to get their nails done. And I'm just like, I've never been. Like, I wouldn't even know where to start. I'm watching them, like, do the little hand things, like file it down, trim it down, and then, shove their hand in the little UV light thing and everything like that. I'm just like, this is really a lot. And then in the back, they had people on like a high ass chair and their feet inside, like, like a puddle of water. And I'm like, I've never even, soaked my feet before. My feet don't look crazy, but, a little disclaimer about myself. If you ain't seen my feet, it's probably ashy. I don't really waste lotion on it sometimes. It's not crackling. It's just probably 3 times out of the week, 3 times out of 7 days, I got ashy feet. Like, hey, I don't care. Like, you can talk about it, but if you got a problem with me having ashy feet, come lotion my feet. I don't care. Like, you're gonna have to deal with it. But yeah, I was just sitting in there just watching everything happen. I'm just like, if society, if black men, if just men in general just understood something about, like, self-care and stuff like that, maybe it would be easier for us to walk inside these establishments by ourselves, maybe with a group of other men, without people giving us a side, like, they on that. And but it's not like that. And I feel like we need to change it. We need to slowly start taking care of ourselves, like start wearing masks, start putting some charcoal this on, some vitamin C scrubs, just really start taking care of ourselves, sitting down on the phone. I'm not talking about on some, like, sister thing where I'm on the phone painting my nails and talking to my mans and shit like that, but, like, just real take time to take care of yourself. And if some of you guys still feel uncomfortable about it, go get a girl. You don't know how many times I see all these dudes on TikTok, with their girlfriends getting their stuff done. I'm playing. They not Sims. But if you feel the need that you can't do it on your own, that you need a female to walk you through it, then hey, your girlfriend, your sister, your cousin, the female friend, whatever, let them walk you through it. They are ecstatic. They are more than willing to help. But yeah, back to the story. So I'm inside the nail salon, and I'm just watching everybody go through their thing. And a little Asian man pull up to me. He's like, hey, you want to get your stuff done? And this is after like 10, 15 minutes of just watching how this stuff is going on. I'm like, I don't really know. I really don't want to, like, full on. He's like, nah. Just put on the gel. Just put on the gel. And I'm like, all right, man, I'm here. So he starts working on it, filming me now. Like, some parts of it feels real therapeutic. I'm not gonna hold you. Just resting your hand there. Somebody just tailoring into your cuticles and stuff like that. And I was really relaxed. And if you aren't even, like, if you're a guy that's, like, really focused on females, I'm talking about the baddest females being inside there, bro. Because they got to take care of their nails. Like, so I'm sitting in there, I'm just watching, wow, just X, Y, and Z just walk through the door. I'm like, damn. And I'm just looking at them like, hey, like, shit, I'm just here getting my nails. I does this, feel me? Like, I does this. Like, I'm always here. But, like, yeah, it was a dope experience. So I'm getting my nails done, and, like, he's throwing my hands up to the top part, putting inside the little UV, like, little sunbathing thing for the nail. I don't know what you call it, but it's like a purple-ish light, almost like a black light. But you put your hand in there, feel me? I know the ladies know what I'm talking about, but you put your hand in there for, like, I think it's for the gel to set, or, like, the nail thing to, like, just make it hard. Whatever. I don't really know. Like, I'm not the best person to ask about this, but yeah, this is just me trying to walk you through this story. So yeah, so at this point, my best friend already moved over to the, getting her feet done and stuff like that. So I'm just like, damn, why should I get my feet done? And the only reason why I was in there, UV light, all right, thank you. So the only reason why I didn't get UV light, all right, because I just said UB. So see, that's that Buffalo shit. UB, But the only reason why I didn't get up and go, soak my feet, because I was just like, damn, these people gonna see my ashy ass feet, and that's something I just can't do. I don't care how comfortable I am with people. Like, I was in public,
The second I take off my socks, I'm gonna have like the Chinese man just speaking in Mandarin, just talking about, hey, you got some, see his feet over there? You know you don't take care of them shits. Like, but my feet don't look bad. Like, I just want people to understand this. Don't think like I have some, like, you know, some Shrek feet. Like, feet are pretty good, just ashy. And I don't want people seeing my ashy feet. So I ain't hop up in the chair to go get my feet done. My best friend was calling me over like, yo, come get it done, come get it done. I'm like, no, hands is okay, because you know I can always put these in my pocket if niggas want to try me, you feel me? But feet, nah, they not gonna see my feet. But to finish off on that issue of self-care, or that topic of self-care, it's just like I think honestly black men in general should take more better care of themselves. You know, can't be out here looking dusty and crusty, nappy and whatever. That's not the vibe. It's not the go. Take care of your teeth, take care of your hair, take care of your, you know, your facial hair. You know, use some coconut oils, some vitamin oils and stuff like that. I take multivitamins. Yo, take some time to bathe in the sun. Like, I wake up late sometimes, you know, in the afternoon, so I take my time. I sit next to the window and just sunbathe sometimes, and just do little things and find out what little things you can actually sacrifice throughout your day. That's actually gonna be helpful. I know a big part of my therapy is my game. I love being on my game. I love talking to my guys. I love, you know, just sitting down, joking, you know, having a blast. But that's mainly my take on self care personally. That was my short little story of being inside the nail salon. I had a much funnier video that I think is probably on my Facebook page. So hey, if you want to watch the full video of me being in a nail salon with a full in-depth detail of like actually how it went when I actually went to go there, so go follow and go check the link out in my page, to the comment section Facebook page. Also, I'm trying to get to a monetized state on my YouTube channel. So if you would be so kind to take that link into my YouTube and just press subscribe, I promise you I won't spam. I'm not gonna spam your notifications on YouTube. I just need about a thousand or so followers. I think I'm at like 20 something right now. So 980, 970 more. We lit. So hey, try to see if you guys can help me get up there. So go follow the link tree in my bio. Another big shout out to Aiyana for coming on the podcast with her busy schedule and just sharing the conversation we have. Hopefully, I have a few more, you know, scheduled episodes to come up with you guys. And yeah, I think that's about it. This has been the Comment Section Podcast, episode 3, Rent Paid, because we all just trying to get our rent paid, and if you have a mortgage, I don't care. Like, no, I'm kidding. But thank you. Yo, Comment Section Podcast, episode 3, Rent Paid. You know, this it's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on Facebook. So go check it out. And it's going to be on IGTV. Drop a comment. Leave some feedback. If you have anything to say, let me know about it. But it's been a blast, people. I'm about to go start some homework because the life of a college student is never easy. Go to trade school. All right, but later, people. I think I'm missing out. Oh, I didn't play any of A Boogie's song. Dave Boogie's. I said A Boogie. I'm possibly tired at this moment, but I didn't play any of Dave Boogie's songs. So still shout out to him for being on the first episode. I got a few people on the way that have been telling me they want to come on. So next conversation is going to be probably for a couple Army guys. I'm trying to see if I get a few, like, you know, more artists on the podcast. It's just, you know, I'm taking it step by step. So let me know if you actually want to be on the podcast, or if you have somebody that's trying to get something started. We can help each other. Feel me? I'm a great conversationalist. I'd love to have them here, talk about different issues. But it has been your host, Ansel, for the Comment Section Podcast. Later, people. And how the heck do I stop this again? Just press that.